Welcome back, all of you Regs and all of you Shinies, to another 1313 Podcast Black Series review. I'm Jackson from the 1313 Podcast, and today I'm very excited to bring you all the Darth Maul as he appears in Season 7 of the Clone Wars. And oh goodness, is this a great figure after all. If you're like me, you didn't really think that we would get this initially just because that first wave of the Walmart Clone Wars figures did not have a Maul, and then Maul kind of appeared in a pipeline a while back, but then nothing else was really mentioned. But now, our horned boy is here. Like I said, I think this is hands down the best Darth Maul figure, and I'll be trying to convince you a little bit why through this review. But before we get started, please make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube. Check us out on Discord if you want to play some Battlefront with us, or just talk Star Wars or your action figures as well. And then if you would like to financially support us, please check out our Patreon. Everything that we get in that completely goes to making this show a lot better for you guys. Now, without further ado, let me get right into it. So obviously, it's got the same color scheme as the entire rest of the box. I want to give a nice shout out to Gary from Return of the Nerd for helping me get this figure a little bit early. That is our favorite Taiwanese fellow on this podcast. Now, I picked up an order of this and another figure as well that I will be doing a review on too. But oh goodness, is the detail in this figure amazing. I'm going to try that zoom in real quick again. Voila, it worked. Look at that face sculpt. The paint job and the attention to detail on this figure is absolutely amazing. His horns look incredible, and it almost has like that brownish weathering too. Just that fine-tuned stuff that was really good. This is a completely different Darth Maul face sculpt too from other figures that we have received as well. And I'll go into a little bit of that as well in just a second. But you get your base figure, and he comes with half of his lightsaber that he still has, and then the other half, if I can swing this around for y'all, of Ventress. So in some point he ends up gaining this, and then that ends up making his new double-bladed, which I will show you how it connects in just a moment. But in terms of articulation, oh goodness, is this figure nice for that. It is a very slimmer figure compared to my helper for today, the Darth Maul from the comic series line. So if you're also like me, I originally purchased this because I didn't think that we would get a Season 7 Maul anytime soon. I was like, you know what, I want Darth Maul in my collection because Darth Maul is such a cool person to begin with. But now that I have this, I'm probably very much going to be getting rid of this at some point. Maybe check it out in the Discord sometime soon, just because I would rather have one cool Maul in my collection that I prefer. This version as well is a lot more bulkier than this, just because the whole thing here is from that comic line. He's supposed to be very muscular. The Clone Wars Season 7 Maul isn't like that at all. He's very slim. His figure is a lot more slender. His face is a lot more slender than this Maul's. This Maul's almost just looks like a generic humanoid male head that they just put the Darth Maul tattoos and the horns on to begin with. But see, his chest is a lot more stocky too as well. So I'm going to kind of put him aside just because there's some things I really didn't like about this figure that they get right with this. And for the biggest one I'll show so far is articulation with the legs. Here it's that pin system that we've seen before for some of the older figures, and it really hurts what it can do. Like, this is as far as his knee can bend. And to show that off with this Darth Maul with his robotic legs, they can bend up just a little bit more. But I like the fact that with the robotic legs as well, you can get away with the fact that you can see the rotation, just because the goal of the Black Series really is to make the product look as realistic as possible for the budget available. So because he's a robot, you can get away with having that, but having just a robotic leg like this that works and flexes so well helps to create a lot of great poses, such as this, or even one-legged awesome poses like this. This is another one that I kind of did. I'll admit it, you do have to be a little bit patient and balanced, but the one-legged poses that this Maul can do are absolutely, like, amazing. So beyond the legs as well, I am a huge fan of these arm systems that they've made for him. Obviously he has this tunic piece right here with these shoulder pads. that these shoulder pads aren't connected to it. They rotate with the arm as well and can flex out a little bit if needed. This is a huge improvement for what I would say some of like the Republic Commando troopers have, where that piece is stagnant, and if you move their arm, this flares up almost, and then after a while it kind of stays in that position and you have to spend a lot of time moving it back down. This helps it so it isn't going to eventually stay back up way too much like how it would before, which is absolutely amazing in my opinion. I love it. Both pieces of his lightsaber do connect and come apart like so, and the blades also come out too if you would like to display it like that. His main saber has a small little peggle right here. You can end up pinning to his side if you decide to connect both the sabers, or even just put one in that matter. That's kind of up to you. Obviously, if you're like me, you're a Darth Maul fanboy, and you're going to have those both connected for any pose that you do. The lightsaber as well fit really, really good in his hands. At least for his right hand at least, I have a bit of ease getting his saber into it, but then typically if I'm going to put both the lightsabers together and have him pose, I'll put his saber in his right, and then that one in his left, and then I'll connect them while he's holding it, just so I don't mess with the grip for the fingers a whole lot, and the thumb as well, just because that can be a little bit tricky to avoid, but he holds it really, really well. Like I said, it isn't that big of a deal at all. Posability and attention to detail are the biggest parts of this figure. I will 100% recommend and say that this is a must-have if you are a Darth Maul fan or a fan of the Sith, or even just looking to improve your Darth Maul collection of figures in general. This will eventually be available in the United States soon when these other waves arrive. Again, like I said, I was able to pick it up just a little bit early from Gary, so I can't unfortunately recommend his store for the moment, just because I know he was going through some logistical issues too with his store and some personal things as well, so it might not be up by the time this review goes up, but if it is, check it out for yourself. This has been Jackson from the 1313 podcast. Hope you all have a great rest of your days. Bye-bye.